Hello everybody, welcome back to Flight Path. My name's Simon. We are in the middle of the Battle of Quatre Bras, and we've got to the point of the first crisis. Essentially, the Prince of Orange has been trying to hold on to these crossroads, and the weight of the French numbers have pushed back his centre and his left. And we're talking probably around about 3 o'clock in the afternoon on the 16th of June 1815. Let me just swing around here in the Huey, and you can see we'll fly up this road below us, and I'll show you the direction that Ney has is coming from. And remember, by this time, Ney's troops are pouring up this road. This is the core of rail, and thank you, Guy. There you go. That's Guy at the back for you, just saying hello. And 17,500 troops now have got beyond Frasnes and coming towards this battlefield, which we can see essentially where this white dot is now. We'll just do a quick low fly. If you're new to the channel, we try to use Flight Simulator and fly around real time. It gives you a sense of the topography, a sense of the distances, and we look at history, essentially. And you're looking at the Battle of Waterloo, the campaign of Waterloo, and we followed Napoleon's journey from exile all the way from the essentially the 1st of March 1815 when he lands back in France, and to now, which is the 16th of June 1815, where he has crossed the border into Belgium, and he's trying to defeat the Anglo-Dutch army of Wellington and the Prussians under Prince Blucher. Here is the Quatre Bras. If you want to know about Ligny, we did Ligny the other day. You can check that out in previous streams. But here is essentially the road where the reinforcements are coming down. This one here, which is up towards Genappe and eventually to Brussels, and then this road over here. You can see this town called Nivelles, and this is where the British 1st and 3rd divisions will be coming essentially from. I'm going to jump out here because it's a little bit easier to talk about. And there, by the way, is the Battle of Waterloo site, and we are essentially down here. Now, we left in the last episode, we were talking how the French had pushed the Dutch from this farmhouse here. They pushed back the Nassau infantry through this wood. Imagine this golf course was basically a wood. And the wood ran all the way up here to the crossroads itself. The French were pushing the troops back this way. They'd just lost this farmhouse, and there was cavalry trying to rout Jaegers in this position here. The the Dutch cannons, which were on this ridge here, they were being counter-battery fired by the French who were on this ridge, essentially on this side. Now, the Dutch, this is the first time that the Belgian Dutchess have been, fought. there were some doubts about their loyalty because they essentially had been fighting for the French before. But all in all, they have actually performed pretty well. They had been completely outnumbered, and they were essentially delaying tactics going on now. The first crisis had occurred, and Ney was probably confident that once this line of troops had been pushed back, then the objective of the crossroads would soon be his. But around about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, the first reinforcements arrive, and these are Merlin's brigade of Netherlands light cavalry. There's around about 1,000 troops. They arrive at 3 or between 3 and 3:30, and they had been riding all day, and essentially they'd been saddled for almost 24 hours, and they begin to arrive. And they've arrived here, of course, this is 3:30, so it's the whole day, it's the heat of the day. So they should have been wanting a rest, but instead they had to be deployed immediately. And they had to plug the gap in the center that Ney's assault had ripped apart. So they were coming along this road here, and they essentially were placed straight into the battle at around 3:30. Shortly after this, Picton's 8 battalions begin to arrive. Now, Picton was ordered from, if you remember back in previous episodes, he was ordered from Brussels, began in Brussels, probably around about 3 o'clock in the morning, and essentially told to move down to the junction at the village of Waterloo, and he is then essentially pushed down ordered down to Quatre Bras. We believe ordered down by the Prince of Orange in Wellington's absence, though we're not sure. He might have been operating on his own. Kind of that sort of like marching to the sound of the guns kind of thing. So they're essentially coming down this road here, and as they start to approach the battlefield, and they will they deployed over to this side through here to this road, which is the Nivelles, essentially Nivelles to Namur and Sombref road. And they're essentially, as they come in there, each battalion are placed along this road here. So we've got Kempt battalion, followed by Best's 4th Hanoverian brigade. We're talking essentially around about 12,000 infantry arriving down this road, with 1,000 cavalry and around about 27 cannon. So we're talking about then the total number of troops here. We're getting this arrival then starts to match the press from the French from the south. Now, they believe at this point that the 5th Militia, their resolve stiffens at this point with all this reinforcements arriving, and they stage a counterattack basically back onto this farm. They cleared the French skirmishers from the surrounding walls. But they don't quite get into the actual buildings themselves. But it's believed that they do go around the farm, and they actually can line up south of the farm, and they drive off 2 French cavalry charges with volley fire. And it's believed at some point around here, some French lancers are forming up, and it's believed that the Prince of Orange would ride over and support them and give them encouragement. At this point, we believe that Germain would come up this way here, skirting the farm, pushing forwards, with some French cavalry in support, and the Prince of Orange orders Merlin. Now remember, Merlin has just arrived, and he's sort of plugging this area here, giving support. He orders the Merlin's cavalry to charge this column of German, presumably in some sort of fashion like this. And the Prince of Orange would also get the Jaeger and the militia to be firing into the sides of this advancing French column. And this forces the French back. And essentially forces the French to pull back from the Gemiancourt farm. We get reports of Netherlands Hussars as well. They were instructed to attack Germain, but they lose control in their charge, and some French chasseurs countercharge them and scatter them. Not quite sure where that occurs, but it's probably in this sort of area here. These French cavalry continue through these Netherlands Hussars and attack the batteries of Billenveld and Stenvenaert, which remember were kind of essentially in this sort of area here. And this is essentially the point where the second crisis of this battlefield occurs. So all this is going on. The Prince of Orange is actually the cavalry have come through and attacked this battery. It's also attacked the 5th Militia, remember, which are in this area here. And the Prince of Orange is caught up in this rout, but he manages to escape. And we get to the time now when Wellington arrives. So Wellington is essentially riding down, I believe, this road here. And this is the moment when the French are counter-charging the Allies, and there's a bit of a crisis. So Wellington will ride up this point here. There's a whole mass of retreating men because they've been routed. He managed to avoid this confused mass. And essentially, the fire of a battalion of Nassaus would halt that counter-charge that the French make. We have part of this battle is the Pires' squadrons are now boring down on the Highlanders of Pact. Remember Picton's divisions, and these Highlanders would take refuge in these ditches on this road. So they would use these ditches to hide in, and they would open fire on the French cavalry, forcing them back. Bachelou would be following the cavalry. He's coming up this way. He's in the columns moving up. And they would essentially try to attack up this position here, but they get pushed back again by a regiment of Netherlands Light Dragoons, and they attack the French cavalry and force them to withdraw. Now, you would argue at this point that essentially Wellington has reached one of his major crisis points here. It is argued that his lack of urgency previously led to the French managed to get to this position before he could concentrate. He then moves on. He comes down here, has a look, and he moves off down to see the Prussians. When he comes back here, it's not looking great, and you can see that this would probably be a point where he would essentially think that the battle was almost lost. But it's argued that essentially the Prince of Orange, or Prince of Orange, advised by some very good staff, have saved the day by calling up the reinforcements. And this is when the Brunswickers arrive. Essentially, these were ones that Wellington had ordered to Genappe, but the Prince of Orange had told them to carry on down to Quatre Bras. And so it's 5 battalions of Brunswickers plus their cavalry and the Duke of Brunswick with them. So with Wellington's arrival, he now takes control. He takes control from the Prince of Orange. And in terms of numbers, we're looking now maybe that the Allies have around about 18,000 infantry, about 2,000 cavalry that he can use. Now, essentially what this means is that we know that Wellington went across to Ligny, said to Blucher, you can essentially said to Blucher that he believed that he had some troops arriving at Quatre Bras, and he could send some troops to him, saying he probably could send about 20,000 troops to support the Prussian right flank at Ligny. Now, of course, he has got essentially almost 20,000 troops here, but he's facing 20,000 or more troops from Ney here. So as soon as he gets back to Quatre Bras, he realizes that he's not going to be able to do what he told Blucher he would do. It's believed that he does send that check me notes here. Yeah, so he is believed at this point that he does actually send a messenger to Blucher to say that he won't be able to come to his aid, essentially. There's another order was supposed to be sent out to the Wellington's cavalry to come to Quatre Bras with haste, but it's probably because we're talking essentially around about 3:30 in the afternoon. It's probably now too late for them to arrive in time for that day's battle. And it's also believed that he hasn't ordered any other troops to this position, so maybe he's already thinking it's a holding position and that it's not necessary for more troops to come to this position. So these Brunswickers, by the way, they've arrived. As I say, there's essentially 4 battalions of them. So we're looking probably at around 3,000 odd men. And there's 4 squadrons of cavalry, and they essentially are deployed in this area here, which is between the Charleroi Highway and the Bossu Wood. And 2 of the Jaeger battalions of this, the Vanguard battalion, are sent into the Bossu Wood to support the Nassaus in this area. And these guys, by the way, they're now starting to run out of ammunition as well. The 2nd Light Battalion are sent off to Pierremont, which is essentially the left-hand side here. So with the arrival of these Brunswickers, they're plugging the gaps in the line, and essentially the situation is the second crisis is stabilized. Okay, so that seems like a good place to have another little break. I'll chop up this long video, and put it onto YouTube, so you can watch it on a playlist. Again, I don't know. It feels boring to keep asking for a like and a subscribe, but it does cheer my heart up if you do. But it's not essential. But it's just a click. And I will see you in the next one, and we will continue this battle, which is a series of crises as each wave of reinforcements arrived. So I'll see you in a moment.